An ordinary evening at the Healer house, and Bluey and Bingo decide to play photographers, using Chilli's old camera. They snap pictures of each other, the house and the garden, giggling over funny poses. Bluey finds an old SD card in the camera and inserts it into the computer to view the secret photos. The screen lights up, revealing a strange image. A black dog with human teeth stretched into a gruesome smile, its eyes glowing red against a dark abyssal background. "Look, Bingo, what a funny dog," says Bluey. "Let's save this and show it to our parents." But when they try to close the photo, it doesn't disappear. The screen flickers and the image seems to stare at them, the smile growing wider. Bingo feels a chill. It's smiling at us. The sisters try to shut down the computer, but the photo spreads. It appears on Bluey's phone screen, then on the tablet, with the dog's smile following them, whispering from the speakers, "Spread the smile or it will come for you." Night falls and the house darkens. Shadows in the room corners form the outline of the dog, its teeth gleaming in the moonlight, and the sisters begin seeing hallucinations. Their neighborhood friends smiling just as gruesomely with human teeth, demanding to share the photo. As the night progresses, the nightmare intensifies. Bluey feels her own smile becoming uncontrollable, stretching to the point of pain, while Bingo hears scratching at the door, as if the dog is clawing to get in. "You can't stop the smile," echoes a voice full of madness, forcing the sisters to share the image in their dreams, where the dog chases them through endless corridors. The parents, Bandit and Chilli, sleep soundly, but when Bluey wakes them, the photo is already on their phones, the dog's smile beckoning, "Join us." The tension builds as the sisters try to destroy all the devices, but the image comes to life. The dog leaps from the screen as a shadow with glowing eyes, its maw opening wide, full of teeth, whispering, "Smile forever." But at the last moment, Bingo screams, "This isn't real!" and they smash the computer, the light flashing and driving away the shadow. The ending is ominous. The next morning the photo is gone, but Bluey notices in the mirror that her smile is a bit wider than usual, with a hint of human teeth. The screen fades under the echo of distant barking mixed with laughter. In this episode, a sunny morning at the Healer house begins with Bluey and Bingo deciding to conduct archaeological excavations in the backyard. Bluey, armed with a toy shovel, declares herself the great explorer of antiquities, while Bingo becomes her assistant. They dig near the old fountain where the earth seems loose, dreaming of finding treasures or dinosaur bones. Bandit, watering plants nearby, jokes, "Just don't dig up something that's better left alone." But the sisters laugh, thinking it's just Dad's joke. Suddenly, Bluey's shovel hits something hard. An ancient stone covered with strange symbols that resemble hieroglyphs, but look as if they were carved in haste. When they fully uncover the find, it turns out to be a small statue. A mummified figure in decaying bandages with a ghastly face twisted in anger, and empty eye sockets in which something red seems to flicker. "Wow, it's a real mummy!" exclaims Bluey, touching the statue with her paw. "Let's play Ancient Egypt." Bingo feels a slight chill but agrees, and they begin to imagine that the statue is their ancient pharaoh, and the garden is a pyramid full of treasures. But as soon as the game begins, the air around becomes heavier, and the statue seems to start absorbing light, making shadows longer and darker. The ancient symbols on the stone glow with a faint red light, and from underground comes an almost inaudible muttering, "Ancient powers awaken, the energy of young souls feeds eternity." As the game progresses, the statue seems to come alive. First, its eyes flash red, then the bandages begin to writhe like snakes, and from cracks in the stone seeps something like sand, but black in color. Bluey and Bingo feel their energy gradually draining. They become sluggish, their voices weaken, and their games turn into mechanical movements. "Why do I feel so sad?" whispers Bingo, but Bluey can no longer answer, enchanted by the statue's red eyes. Around them, shadows begin to materialize. Evil spirits summoned by ancient power, they circle around the sisters, whispering curses and sucking last crumbs of joy from their hearts. The garden darkens though the sun is still high, flowers wither and the grass under their paws becomes grey and brittle. The statue gradually transforms, its form changing. It grows, bandages unravel, revealing withered flesh with pulsating red veins, and the voice becomes louder and more commanding. "The return has begun, young blood feeds, ancient bones rise, servants of darkness." Bluey tries to run, but her paws seem rooted to the ground, while Bingo looks at the statue with strange submission, as if under hypnosis. The parents, busy with household chores, see only flickering twilight contours of the garden but cannot make out their daughter. They seem to dissolve into shadows. The episode reaches its climax when the statue completely transforms into Mumra, an ancient necromancer with burning red eyes, surrounded by a whirlwind of dark energy and hovering spirits. His voice echoes through the garden. "Ancient power, eternal magic, accept my will." Bluey and Bingo stand motionless, their eyes becoming empty, their fur dulling. But at the last moment something breaks. Perhaps the power of parental love or childhood innocence. And the sisters momentarily come to their senses, scream and run to the house. The episode cuts off with an ominous finale. Bandit and Chilli find their daughters in their room, trembling and muttering about an ancient statue. But when they go out to the garden, there stands only a harmless stone figurine by the fountain, with eyes sparkling red in the moonlight waiting for the next victims. The screen slowly fades to the sound of wind-carrying ancient curses. In this episode, everything begins on a bright sunny day in a Brisbane park, where the Gila family is having a picnic. Bluey and Bingo, full of excitement, run around on the grass playing treasure hunt, collecting sticks, leaves, and even shiny pebbles for their imaginary adventures. Bandit spreads food on the blanket while Chilli jokes that this is the best picnic in history. Suddenly, from behind the thick trees comes a strange, enticing sound. The pop of a bursting balloon, followed by a raspy, almost musical laugh echoing through the air. The sisters turn around and see him. A clown in a bright but tattered costume with a face covered in white makeup that's cracking at the edges, and an armful of red balloons floating in the air as if they're alive and pulsating. "Want to play?" He grins, his eyes gleaming with a yellow shine like a predator in the dark. "I have the best games in the world and they never end." Bluey, always ready for something new, pulls Bingo by the paw and they approach closer, ignoring the slight chill. The clown suggests a fun balloon chase, and the sisters agree, giggling and bouncing. But as the game progresses, the park changes imperceptibly. Pathways twist like snakes, trees close in, cutting off the way back, and the balloons begin popping one by one with piercing screams echoing in the air like distant wails. "Float with me," whispers the clown, his smile stretching wider, revealing teeth like glass shards, and his voice becomes lower, vibrating in his chest. "Here everyone floats forever, in a river of fears." Bingo feels a chill. One balloon touches her paw, and she sees a reflection in it. Their parents, Bandit and Chilli, sitting at the picnic table, but their faces are empty like masks, and the food on the table writhes as if alive, with worms crawling out of the sandwiches. The tension builds. Bluey tries to run, screaming, "This isn't fun, let's go home." But the clown changes form. His body elongates, arms transform into tentacles grasping at air and clinging to branches, and the park becomes a labyrinth of shadows and fears, where the ground beneath their paws becomes soft like quicksand. Bingo sees visions, their house drowning in a turbulent river, and friends from the neighborhood floating in the water with red balloons instead of heads, their eyes pleading for help. The sisters cling to each other, tears streaming down their faces, but the clown approaches, his laughter turning into a roar. "You're all mine now, little floaters." The parents, finally noticing something wrong, call their daughters loudly, getting up from the blanket, but the park empties. The wind carries away their voices and only echoes remain. The episode cuts off on a lone red balloon slowly floating in the sky, with reflections of Bluey and Bingo's faces inside, screaming soundlessly until the screen plunges into complete oppressive darkness, with a final pop, as if a balloon bursts somewhere in the distance. In the sunny backyard of the Gila house, the family sets up a regular summer picnic under the bright July sky, where rays filter through the foliage, casting golden gleams on the grass. Blankets are spread with wave patterns topped with ham and cheese sandwiches, fruits, apples, bananas, watermelon slices. Towels with palm prints hang on chairs. Bluey bounces around suggesting tag or water balloon fights for a beach vibe. Bandit pretends to be a lifeguard. Chilli arranges the food. Bingo sets up toys in a mini city. The air is warm, scented with sunscreen and fresh grass. But in the shadows by the fence there's a chill like from an open fridge. The picnic starts fun. Everyone eats, jokes about summer. Bluey notices a plastic skeleton in a swimsuit, buried in the dirt, faded. She digs it out, sets it as a guest, pushing an imaginary plate. The family laughs, Bandit jokes about a diet. Chilli smiles. The sun dips, shadows lengthen, the skeleton twitches. More skeletons emerge from bushes, in hats and glasses rattling, creating a rhythm like a distant drum. The skeletons move openly, joints creaking like rusty doors, forming a circle around the blanket, movements like marionettes. They invite with gestures, eye sockets glowing like fireflies. Bluey follows one to the fence where a hidden path opens to an abandoned pool overgrown with murky water. The family follows. The pool is like a twisted party. Ribbons on diving boards, watermelon lanterns float, skeletons on lounges clack bones, echoing eerily. The skeletons start games, tossing a ball that never falls, splashing in cold water that numbs pores. Whispers from their jaws reveal secrets. Parents' arguments, Bluey's fears, Bingo's hidden toys. Whispers grow louder, games turn sinister. A skeleton mutters about an eternal party. Water bubbles, hands reach from depths, writhing like seaweed. The family tries to leave, but the path loops. Skeletons block the fence. Swimsuits drip rot. The sky darkens, shadows mimic the healers with elongated arms and empty eyes. Ground pulls to the water like quicksand, bubbling with cold touches. Bluey shouts a made-up rule to end it, a flash bursts from the skeleton toy. Scene blurs. Family back in the yard, picnic untouched, sun high. They brush it off as heat hallucination, pack up and go inside. The skeleton twitches, whispers call Bluey's name. The yard empties, sun sets unnaturally fast, sky blood red. A skeleton reassembles into a dog-like form. Bluey glances from the house, sees her reflection in a puddle, eyes empty like sockets, bony grin. She blinks, it vanishes. A watermelon seed sprouts, whispering. Screen statics, bone clacks mixed with distorted laughter, abrupt end.